Hello everybody. In this video, we are going to see the events and how to handle event handlers. Sorry for the redundancy there. But how actually events work in a C# application. We already learned a little bit about delegates and how those delegates can be used in order to execute a series of functions or to have a different functions executed at the same time or different time with assignments, and delegates can actually be really beneficial or important depending on the case. In this case, events works a little bit like delegates, but in a bigger scale. An event, what it is something that happens, and we declare that through the application. And when something happens, we need to somebody else or something else to react about it or to be executed. For example, when you're printing a document and you click on the print button, you generate a click event. That event will react and execute something. The good thing about C# is you can actually can attach or deattach several programs or different methods to those events. So that means when an event happens, it doesn't matter where that event it is, that event will be executed or it will be created or something whenever you actually have it there, because it's listening to that. So the way to do that is actually to attach an event or to listen an event or to unlist an event to a specific event handler. And I want to show you an example for that. But in order to make a simple application, I will be doing a fake store. A fake store because I'm just going to mimic some kind of shopping store functionality. We will have items, we have an inventory, we have a cart, we will have shopping and removing the element from the cart, like things like that, right? So the first part, I'm going to be pretty much the most part of the video. Let's actually create the app, and I want to show you how to think a little bit and how to create a bigger app through a video. But also, at the end, I want to show you how to do those events. So when a purchase happens, I want to notify the warehouse department, for example, to start looking for the items, or notify to purchasing or something like that, right? In order to start creating, start processing the payment, things like that. So we will see how we attach when our order is submitted, how can an event will happen, and that event and methods that are listening to that event will proceed or will be executed. And the execution is a little bit similar as the one that we had it for how can I say it? Probably forget the name. For the delegates, sorry, for the delegates. So let's get started. As you can see, I have a new console application. It just says hello world there, and it's just running and it just without that. And that's pretty much everything that I had there. So let me clear here. Perfect. And let me start creating the element. So I believe the first element that I want to create is an item, right? So the way that I want to do it, I want to create a class item into base file element, and then for that item, we will have an inventory. That inventory will be pretty much like a list of those items. So we can actually go through the list and do something about that particular list, like get like all the items that are listed there. It's like a collection that we saw before. But also I want to create a cart item. And the different, well, let me talk about the item first. So the item will have three different properties, and that's it. We'll have an ID, a name, and a price, like the basic stuff, right? I will not handle inventory, like subtract some inventory. So just mimic that we have something listed as an inventory, and listed inventory is just pretty much a collection of items, pretty much. Then we have a cart item. Cart item will be attached a specific item, and we call that now a product. And when we add the quantity, like how many do we attach it, and we calculate the subtotal, pretty much multiplying the product by the quantity. The price by the quantity, right? Something basic. Then we will have a cart, and a cart will have an array or a list, pretty much, of cart items. But we will add a couple of things. We will add a constant for a tax payments, and the grand subtotal and the grand total will be applied or will be taken through there. Then we go through a process to do the program itself, and the program itself we just create a new inventory. We will create new items. We will attach them to the inventory, and after we attach them to inventory, we're going to create some kind of menu, right? We will display the menu, and we will ask the client what to do about it. We will see, we can add, we can remove, show, clear what your cart items, right? So let's fake the store a little bit. And after we have those, at the end, we will have a salesman. So the salesman will process the order, and the salesman will execute the order processed event that will call the warehouse to look for an order and the sales department to process the payment. It's pretty much that. It's a little complicated, but I just want to show you a little bit the elements of the content. So let's get started removing all this. We don't need this. And let's change from namespace to using. So let's do a simple using here. Let's add a semicolon at the end. And I save it like that. It's complaining because it's necessary, you're not using it, but whatever. Let's create a new class, and let's call this class item, with the basic class. And for this item, we have three different properties. We have, and let's make everything public just to simplify. Let's have a string ID that will be get it, and we will define the implementation here. I want to show you that too. So let's get a string. Let's call this ID, and it will not be set through the execution. It will be set automatically with something. So let's actually do this ID equals 0 for now, right? Let's call this ID, DID. And we will change that to something else. And of course, it's actually double quotes instead of single ones. Oops, there you go. So we have the string, we will create a name, or description, or whatever you want to call it. Let's call the string name in this case, and this one will have the get setter, right? And let's do public, let's do a double, let's call this price, and with the get setter, right? We have the three different elements from my from a string, from an item, and now we can start creating those items by itself. So let's actually do that. So let's go back to the program. And on the program, we will just need to do to create some items, and I already have those right here. And we can actually do something like this, right? We create 4 different items: an iMac, Mac Mini, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, and use a new item pretty much with those different values, right? As you can see, I'm not assigning the ID because it is already the logic inside the item itself. So let's just to verify that everything is working, let's do console.writeLine, and let's call to print, open, close this, and let's do, actually this is inside quotes, let's do iMac, let's do Mac Mini, Mac Mini dot ID, Mac Mini dot name. Let's do the last one, call it Mac Mini. Oops, sorry for that. Mac Mini dot price. So we should be seeing pretty much I don't know what's happening there. Okay. On the semicolon, of course. So we should be seeing just the Mac Mini information in the second item, just to verify that everything is there. And let's do a simple .NET run. And we can see, yes, the ID Mac Mini 700 is there. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to change the logic for the ID to actually create an ID. And one of the cool things is that Visual Studio Code, we have a library for that. It's called GUID. GUID stands for generic unique identifier, general unique identifier, and that means that it's a big random number with letters that it got executed and it got to assign it to a specific resource. So that's why you will know what it is. But I would like to apply something similar. The problem is that the GUID is actually really, really big and will not be that beneficial to actually have those big strings there. So I want to use something shorter. So we can use something with random. Always random can help, but in this case, let's use a library that already exists. Let's use something called short ID. So let's install an external library. I didn't explain that how to do it, but it's going to be really simple. You just went through Visual Studio Code in order to install it. We need to open a page called notjet.org, right? Here are pretty much all the packages that .NET applications require in order to be faster or implement something that is already created. So what I want to do is I want to check my short ID. Let's see if something exists like that. We have several implementations of those short IDs. Without the first one, at the time that I recorded this video, we have over 500,000 downloads, updated 2 months ago, 301, so it looks like it's pretty much new. And yes, generates a random identifier from 7 to 40 characters. Identifier generated can be used as primary keys for databases or unique identifiers. So that's pretty much perfect. That's what I need. So when I open it, we have a couple of things. We have this little tab navigation that show you how to install this one from depending different places. So you use package manager, you can just execute install package show ID. If you use in CLI, as I'm doing that right now in this video, more likely you too. I just execute this property on this function on the power on the computer or on the folder structure where we have the application. Or we can actually paste it in the package reference. So we can do a lot of stuff. So what I want to do here is just to execute it. So we'll just take it that. I will save it. And of course, before installing it, I need to be the getting started, right? I need to see that code is going to be created. You have to use short ID and the configuration. And regarding the configuration, we can use numbers, we can use a special character, and we can use what else? Use number characters. What else? What else? And the length, pretty much. We can see the length right here. Okay. So it should be more than enough. So let me just copy this one. Let me minify for a minute. And I will execute it right here. You're not able to see it. Oh yeah, you're able. So let me make this a little bit bigger. Oh, it didn't copy over. Let me go back to the page. I will copy the net CLI section. Just copy this and paste it. You want to .NET add package, show ID. We click enter, and that package is going to be installed. So now that it's already installed, and we saw that at the end we can actually see something like this, right? Another way to use it will be pretty much the way that they had it. They will be using short ID, and using short ID, oops, dot configuration, I believe, and the short ID is this one. So yeah, that should be enough. It is complaining because it says that it's not been used yet. So let's start working with that. The way that the website, the Nugget website, tells us to do it is that we just generate string ID equal string ID, short ID generate. So let's copy this, and we are going to put that on the item one? No. Yes. Actually, this short ID, I'm sorry. Need to go to item. Because item will have the actual ID. So let's put those here. And I saw now my error. This semicolon needs to go. There you go. So now what I want to do is just implement the way that I have it. That is a simple short ID dot generate. I didn't like it. Well, let's see why I didn't like it. Generate doesn't exist in name short ID. Really? Oh. Oh yeah, because not short ID like this. It's actually short ID. Perfect. And then we need to, there you go. We use generate option to below. So pretty much we are going to create new options. New generate options. And here for the generate option, we can actually use something like this. Let's go back to here. We can actually have the use number. It has true by default. True. Let's change it to false. The special character. Let's keep it as false just in case. And then let's try to make it a little bit smaller. So I will just copy those that I have already here. And that's pretty much here. We save that, and it's still working without issues. That means we go here and we execute this again. We have a problem. What is the problem? What we can do here? Let me pause the video for a minute during I figure out what is actually happening. Okay, I found the issue. It took me a little bit longer. Program CSS was not saved, so I just save the file and execute it, and we can see that the Mac Mini get printed with that unique ID that is a little bit different. If we execute several times, we see that every time you want to generate a new one, so that number is always going to be different. And with that, we are able actually to do that generate ID to every item that we added through the inventory, or we will add through the inventory. Okay, let me just close this one, and let's proceed. Okay, now that we have the item, the next things that we need to do, we need to create inventory. So let's create a new class. Let's call this one inventory. And this inventory will be simple. And well, a little more complex actually. We have a public list of items. And let's call this items in plural. Equal. Yeah, we have that one there. And we know that the lists are getting imported from using system collections. Collection generates. So we have the first property there and the only one that we need to well. And let's do a simple public void clear. And this is going to be doing as a simple items dot clear. What we're doing here, we are actually exposing the value of the property for the list to be able to use it outside. And let's have that one. And of course, we need to have something for that. So let's do public void add. And we're going to be sending here an item called item. And the only thing that we're going to be doing is items in plural dot add or item. We have the clear, we have the add. Let's have something for the count. Let's do public integer count. And that will be as simple as and let's make it like this. And this should be public, not public. Sorry for that. And let's do items.count. Okay, I believe we have the basic ones. And then, of course, in order to iterate through the list, we wanted to be able to do that iteration. This one we take it from the collections. Well, we get the enumerator, right? And of course, for that, we need to import system. So let's get system over here. Oops. Not only that, we need to extend this class to be enumerable. There you go. What else will else? Does it came actually from collections? There you go, yes, it came from collections, sorry. So we have pretty much everything there. And I want to have as the last item, or the last functions here, how to print the inventory. So let's do a simple function, say it, public void print, and let's do something like this. Sorry, let me just copy from my notes. It's going to be faster to apply. Perfect. So here what we're doing is just clearing the console, like removing everything. Clearing welcome to the fake shop. This is our products. We have a really ugly table. This is lazy, that's not the way to do it, but it works for now. Have the ID, the name, and the price. And I will iterate to those items just to write pretty much in a specific format the item ID, the item name, and the item price. And it will fall back to that. So let's do this. Let's go back to program Let's see if it's actually working. We can remove this from here. Let's do a new instance of inventory. We have inventory equal new. And to inventory, what we're going to be doing, we're going to add a bunch of items. All those items that we already have there, let's put it inside the inventory. So let me just take it for my notes. This is going to be faster. There you go. And we can actually execute now inventory.print to see what happens. Let's do .NET run. Fake store. Let me execute it, and you saw that my console will clear, and we're just able to print all the products that we have in a somehow table format, right? We have the weird IDs, the names, and the different prices in like some kind of monetary format already. So yeah, so the element is working. Now that we have that one, let's actually create a menu. Because the menu is the one who are going to be handling everything. So let's do menu. I used to have it somewhere. And in the menu, the only things that we're going to be doing is the print method. So let's do public print, and this is a void. So we say welcome to Fake Shop. What you like to do? Type add for an item, show the list, clear to delete it, and done for to purchase, and quit to quit. Pretty much. Right? It's a simple, basic menu that we have over here. It's complaining about something. I don't know what it is. Oh, yeah. Console doesn't find it because we are not using the system namespace. There you go. So we can actually, let's comment this out a little bit, and let's do right here where we have the assignments. Let's do a menu equal new, right? And after the inventory is added, like it is pretty much like the init, let's do menu.print, right? Let's check this. And yeah, that's a simple what you want to do. You will need to type several tabs and you just quit to quit. And of course we need to read the line, right, in order to make that possible. For now, it's printing what I wanted to print. So now that it's printing what I wanted to print, let me take the menu information. So forgetting the menu information, let's do a loop here. So let's create a loop and we will break from that loop when we want to exit. So let's do while and this is true, and this is really be really careful because you don't have how can I say it? If you're not very careful with this, you will have infinite loop. But for my case, I will know how to actually break it to make it work. Okay? So what I want to use here, go to the menu, dot print, right? Let's get rid of this one. And after we print the menu, we can actually ask for the option. And after we print it, we just say console write option. And let's do, and we'll send the response as response for the read line, right? And after we have the response, we can actually do a switch case. So let's go for response. And let's have another one like this. Let's make this one So let's do case show. We're going to be doing is showing the inventory. In this case, I'm doing wrong something here. Oh, yeah, this will be inside the curly bracket, sorry. There you go. Okay, show, and it's complaining. What is complaining? Control cannot fall out of switch from final. Oh, yeah. So let's actually have another one, and let's call this quit. And for this one, let's do a simple for the quit. Let's do. Oh, wait. This one, let's do a break. And for the quit, let's do a environment exit and then a break, just in case, right? I put the break because it complains it doesn't have the break. So this just pretty much to get out. And this will not be show, it actually will be add. So we show the inventory when we add something, right? And after we show the inventory, we can actually have something like this. And let's do what we can do here. We can do something like this. So we print the inventory. We ask about which one it need to be added. We need to type the ID. We save that, and then we ask how many for the quantity. And let's save the quantity somewhere else. But for now, let's do a simple read line, because for the quantity we need to do some kind of conversion, right? So let's do this for now. This should be more than enough to see something. So let's do execute. This will okay. If we type whatever, it's going back to here, right? If we click add, be able to show the inventory, and then ask you for the IDs. Let's say that this is ID, this is something else, and we add it, and we saw here. When I click show, what I want to do is show the cart, right? And the clear, of course, need to be done. The done need to, well, the ready to purchase, and quit should be able to get me out. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to. So let's get back to the app. So we have that one. We have pretty much everything that I need. So let me, before asking for how many, let me remove these two. I don't need them for now. So the first thing that I need to do, I need to verify that product ID exists, right? So for that, I need to search an item. And the best way to search it, the fastest way is through the Lambda function like this. So I will initialize a new product, right? A type of item, and that will be from my inventory items. I will look for that particular item ID is the same as the product ID I just read, right? So that will allow me to actually do something about this. And if it came up with positive, that means that I can do a simple if statement now, and I can do if product is not null, like, yeah, do something, right? Let's do console. If it's not null, let's do console dot write line. Let's call this just temporarily added product dot name. to the cart. We still need to implement the cart functionality, right? So let's put that one, and let's do a simple console.readLine. Or read key could be enough for now. Yeah. So this framework for look for the product. Just if the product is there. If not, we should be able, like, if the product is not there, let's do else. Let's put this one over here. Else console.writeLine doesn't exist. No product with that ID. We can keep that one, but probably will remove it. I don't need it. Okay, that we have that, we should be able to do something like this. Add. Let me type one product, then do this iMac, and added iMac latest to the cart. Perfect. If I add something else, let's do the MacBook Air. It should be added MacBook Air to the cart. So the looking for that particular ID through the Lambda function is working fine. And if we put add and then put something that doesn't exist, let's have another product with that ID. Okay. So we're able to do the validation the way they're supposed to. Let's quit. And let's go back to the code. Okay. So now what we need to do, we need to try to verify, we need to ask for the how many, what is the quantity, right? For the product. So let's save that in product quantity. The way to do it will be to try parse. Remember that everything that came in the readline is actually a string. We need to convert it. So because it should be like a short number, I already have what I need. And I will attach that to the if statement. Oh, sorry for my battery is low. Okay, just connected it. There you go. So here in the if statement, if the product is not null, and from console readline, try to parse it as a short and save as product quantity, so this actually returns a true or false. So if we parse it, the console readline will be saved as an out in short in the product quantity, so we have access to product quantity. So we can have added this many this product. We can do something like this. Let's test it. I'm probably taking too much time to explain it and doing this. Well, let's see. Okay, let's add the Mac Mini for now. And let's do it. Oh, it's trying to ask me how many. Let's do, I will add 2. And add it to Mac Mini to the cart. Okay, so we saw that it's working, but we are missing something. We are missing to actually ask for how many. And let's put that one right here. Right? How many? And then we do the read line, right? It's pretty much. If this is fake, it will not ask for that one, just it will pretty much bypass it, pretty much, right? Okay. Yeah, we have pretty much everything here for now. Let's go back to the functionality. Now let's do the cart item functionality. The cart item is like an extension of item itself. But what I want to do in order to have like a separate object, I will pass the item as a reference, right? And that item will be change the name to product. So probably it's not the best approach, right? But imagine that it's a database and you have a reference through ID. It's something like that. So let's do add the cart class, and we implement that later. And let's do the cart item. Cart item. So for the cart item, it will be really simple. It will be something like this. And we have a product called items, get setter, so we just need to assign it, right? We will add the quantity that by default is 1. And we have a function to calculate subtotal. The subtotal for this item it will be the product price multiplied by the quantity, pretty much. As simple as that. So with that, it should be more than enough to have the cart item that we're supposed to. So let me fix these lines. Yes. So that should be more than enough for that one. And now that we have that, we can actually create the cart item when we actually add it, right? So what I want to do now is I will create the cart item, and then it will be attached to the cart where it's pretty much a list of different cart items. If that makes sense somehow. So let's create, and that will actually happen in here. So let's get rid of this one, right? And let's do cart item is a new, and CI new cart item, and then we'll do CI product. It will equal to the product that we just get, or the reference that we get with the finding. And the CI quantity is going to be equal to product quantity that we have right here. When we have those, we should be able to the cart items. Let's do this in plural. We will add this particular CI, right? It is complaining because that doesn't exist yet. And this should be cart with lowercase. So for that one, let's go back where we have the declaration. Let's put the menu first. Then we have the inventory. And let's do cart equal new. Just initialize that one. Perfect. And it's complaining about this because cart item is a property that doesn't exist yet. Let's work in that property. So let's go to cart items. Sorry, cart. And let's do something simple. List of cart items, new. Of course, in order to get the list, we need to have the collections. And let me import the system too, just to have it there. Oops. I'm messing up with this one. There you go. So we have the cart item, the list of cart item there. And we need to be able to clear them. And let's do a simple public void clear. It's going to be let's do it like this. Cart items dot clear. Right? Let's do the count just to have the count somewhere because reasons. And the count will return something, and this is like a property value. Cool. Now that we have the count, we need to initialize a private element for the subtotal, right? And I will create a constant for the tax, right? Now that I have the subtotal and the tax, what I can do, and let me put it as a little separated, I can create my taxes function method that will be promoting my subtotal multiplied by the tax divided by 100, and the tax is a constant, the 8.25, promote the tax that we have here in the valley. And let's do a function for the subtotal itself. So whenever we get the subtotal, or we call it, we're going to initialize the subtotal to 0. We go to each item or product in the cart item, right? And we will add the subtotal of that product to this particular subtotal. We have the subtotal for the order. This will be the subtotal for the order itself, and we'll return that value to this method. That's pretty much it. We can actually call this get subtotal if we want it to be a little more, how can I say it? If we want to be a little more, have a little more context, right, on the naming. But let's keep it like that for simplicity. So now that we have that one there, we can actually calculate the total, and the total will be as simple as the subtotal plus the taxes that we have here, right? So with that, we calculate the total, and now we are able to have the print method that will pretty much print my card. And I have that one, and it's a little complicated. You can pause the video and see it, or you can see the source code I will publish. Let's do a public void print, and let's do something like this. Okay, so we just put in like, we clear in the console, we type in hello factual, your card. We have that ugly header in the ugly way that it's not supposed to be, right? And then for every item in card items, I just write a line with different format, as you can see here, with tabbing and sizing, whatever. And I'm sending the item product ID, the product name, the product price, and how many they wanted, and then the subtotal for that particular item. And then at the end, on the right, I just put the subtotal, how much is going to be, the taxes, how much is going to be, and the total, how much is going to be. And I will press any key to continue, right? So having this in mind, we can actually go back to the program. And in the show element, well, it will go over here. Card items add is already working, perfect. So now we can actually create the show element. And let's put it over here. This will be show. And in show will be something as simple as card print. Right? And we have it like that. So let's execute it. Let's do dotnet run. Let me do show. My card should be empty. Yeah. I press any key to continue. So let me add a Mac Mini. I have something for the Mac Mini, so I will pronounce that a lot. So let me add 2 Mac Minis to here. Oops. I have an extra enter. I need to check where it actually came from. Let me put show. And yeah, perfect. When I show it, I can see that in my card, I have my Mac Mini with the quantity of 2. It calculated the subtotal for this one, so 700 by 2 is 2400. It calculated my taxes, and it gave me a total of the taxes. Pretty neat. It's working. So if we add another one, let's add the MacBook Pro, and let's add one, and I have an extra enter that I need to fix. Let me show. I have the Mac Mini and the MacBook Pro, right? What is something that I don't have in the system, I'm not validating that for now, if I can actually, if I add another Mac Mini, for example, I click show. Instead of adding to the current one, I just add a new element. I will not bother to look for the products already on the card, add it, increase the quantity. Let's actually have that probably as a homework later. I don't know. So let's have this one, perfect. And let's quit. And let's fix that extra enter that we have right here. So we go to the process of console write how many. We'll read to that through this read line. We printed this, we can add, and then we do this read line over here. Okay, this one is the one that need to go. That ID or incorrect quantity. Okay, that should be fixed that one. Okay, so now we have the add function. We have the show one working. We have the quit, of course. Let's implement the clear one. And this should be simpler. So let's clear the card. Let's actually copy over the show. Let's do clear. And this will be as simple as clear the card. I just pretty much delete everything. And now the last one that we need to do is the done. So for the done method, let me actually put that one right here. Done. We need to print the card, right? We need to make the sale, or in a minute we'll do that sale. We will keep pressing the key to continue, right? And we just do the clear over here. Okay. So it should be more than enough for now. And it's like right now we are emptied out. We need to make something here. Let's put a to do. Make the sale here, right? And let me just do better to do tree, better comments. Yeah, better comments give me the to do's a little bit better. Okay, let's put that one. An extension. There you go. So I have the to do is a little more. Even there is a comment, I can see it better because I just put the to do word there. If I remove the to do, it put the color as a traditional comment. Okay. So we should have pretty much almost everything here. Let's try it. Let's do dotnet run. Let's add iMac. Two of them. Let me choose show just to verify. Yeah, it is there. Let me add Mac Mini. One. Let me try to add something that doesn't exist. Just get out. Perfect. If I do done, I see my card. Okay, press any key to continue. This is pretty much what I purchased. And just get out from here. Perfect. If I do a show now, my card is empty. Okay, so the main functionality is there, right? Now let's actually make the sale. And let's just quit here. Let's go back to the code. And let's make a simple salesman class. And for the sales, we will implement the event here. So now to the topic, we have over 50 minutes for something that I will explain in 5 to 10. So here, in order to create the event, we need to, that actually came from system. Let's import system through here. And we need to declare it. So for the event, I will do a public event. And this one will have an event handler. I need to send what type of object or element I will be sending through the event. Remember the delegates. So I will send a card here. And let's call this make sale. Well, on sale. Usually the events have the on word at the beginning, so you know when something happened, like on click or on submission, on something, right? So this is like a nomenclature, like a better way to understand something that is going to be an event. So when a sales happen, I need to tie that to the, I need to invoke this event to happen. So this is just declaring the event. So here, the only thing by salesman we have, to simplicity, let's do the make sale, and we will send the card. Let's call this card. And we're going to print a simple order places, thanks for shopping at fake store, right? Something like that. But now we need to invoke that event. We need to say, you know what? The on sale event, I need to invoke, and I need to send the sender, as you can see there, and a card. So the sender is going to be this element, this, and the card will be my card that I'm sending to the make sale. Right? As simple as that. So now we have a simple method that will execute or will invoke a specific event. That's pretty much what we need. Let's go back to the program. So we have that to do. Actually, before the to do, let's initialize salesman. Let's call the salesman, let's call this one, I don't know, John. And Joe will make the sale. So let's do John, make sale. And we need to send the card. So we have the card right now. And yeah, with that, we just make the sale. Let's try it really, really quick. .NET run, add, we add an element, one, we do done, and we review it, we click it. Oh, we have an issue. Why? Because the event is with invoke and nobody subscribed for that. So we need to see that one. So we actually saw that null reference exception happen, right? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. That means that nobody is listening to that particular event. This is actually good. That means it's working the way they're supposed to. So let's make a couple of subscriptions to that event. For those, we just make a simple warehouse class, and for this class the only things I will add there is a simple method. Yeah, look for an order, and that order I need to receive the sender, right? Because it's going to be subscribed to event, so I need to see, okay, who sent me the order, and I will apply the order somehow over here, right? I will print my warehouse, and I will, for every items that I have in my cart, I will looking for this many of this item. And let's say that warehouse will make an order to look for every product that you have in your cart, right? And in order to make this work, of course, we need to have it right there. And let's make another one. Let's call this purchasing. And it's like warehouse and the purchasing department. And for purchasing, let's actually do something similar. We create a method that will see who actually sent it or who called this method, right? Because it's going to be triggered through the event. That's why we have the sender there. And we're going to send the card. And this one we're going to do is pretty much sales purchasing, processing payment for, and it will look at the total for that particular card, right? As simple as that. We have two different methods in two different classes. Let's initialize those in our program itself. And let's do as simple as warehouse is a new warehouse. Will be here. And let's do purchasing equal new, right? So now, so we have that, we can make something like the delegate, the John done on sale. Remember that the on sale is the method itself. We have the word. We're going to attach my warehouse look order. And for the John on sale, I will attach my purchasing process payment, right? And this could actually happen in different sections of the code, different files, different elements, right? You will see pretty much the benefit. Like, I will not execute this directly as you attaching those, and those actually can create another event, or I can actually execute a bunch of different methods depending on the case, right? But it will trigger something. So here what I'm doing in the event is just attaching the look order method and the process payment method. As you can see, I'm not sending the execution, just making the reference like a delegate. So just having that one there should be more than enough. Yeah, because we are already making the purchase here. So when we make the sale, John will pretty much notify the other two departments because the event actually happened. Let's see it running. Let's do it. Let me add my Mac Mini. Let's put 2. And let me add a MacBook Pro. And let's put 1 in there. Let me put done. I review it. I calculate this, 2,700, 222, yeah, almost $3,000. Okay, just press any key to continue. And look everything that we saw now. Order places, thank you for shopping your fake store. This is the output of the make sales for the salesman. But at the same time, we just saw the warehouse is looking for 2 Mac Mini and looking for 1 MacBook Pro. And the sales department is processing a payment. So at the same time that this was executed, because it created an event, that event was assigned to those two, and those two different methods, those different classes initialized were executed, and they can start something over. And that's pretty much the benefit for the events. The events is actually more useful in a GUI interface, because when something happens, when you drag and drop, when you're clicking here, clicking there, stuff like that, you need to listen to those events itself. And that it will make a little more sense in there. For now, I wanted to show you like the basic characteristic in a little more complex, just a little bit complex example. With that, that's pretty much everything that I have. Let me get out from here. Let me just add my git ignore. This command, it doesn't work for you, don't worry, you just go for the git ignore wherever I told you to do it. If you have Node.js installed, pretty cool, you execute this and the git ignore it gets created for you. Here I will just do my git init, git add everything. I will do git commit message, and I will say example finish it. Yeah, everything is there. Now I will go to GitHub and create a repo. I have GitHub CLI, so I can do it through here. If you don't have GitHub CLI, install it, or GitHub, you go to the traditional way. But for me, I will create a repo. I will call this fake store C# event example. Really big name, but it's the one that I will give it to you. Without description, it's going to be public. I will assign the origin to this one, and I will be able just to push it right away to be available to the world. So you will have access to the code. If the video was too fast in some places because I copy pasted code, you can actually pause the video or look at the source code directly in order to see what I did there. But that's pretty much the process. It took us a little bit over an hour. I know it's a long video, sorry for that, but I wanted to show you how to start thinking in a little more bigger project in order to have some kind of idea what I'm expecting by the end of the semester. End of the semester or end of the summer, depending on the case. Right? So I hope that you like it. Any question? Any doubt? Don't hesitate to reach me. Happy coding, everybody.